close to it, disinformation. Since the pandemic, and maybe even before that, but the pandemic really made this flourish. We know that this is mushrooming across the social media. Sometimes even people with the best of intentions reproduce this because they don't know that they are part of an information funnel. This is the reverse of the right to information. This information compromises, harms the fabric of society, the very fabric of society, because it worsens existing rifts or creates new rifts. Again, what happened in the States several months ago. Here, in a milder form, we can see the same. Such information events have been reviewed by the Commission against discrimination on the basis, on the grounds of hate speech. This would be speech targeting the ethnicity of a public figure, anti-Semitic discourse. There's such a decision already, or the Commission. So we know only too well, even before the social media from the last century, we know. So they're very interesting phenomena. Advertising helps further disseminate this. We can see this in Romania, mobilizing this potential through the algorithms of social media. So advertising plus social media, we have enormous impact that would influence electoral voting activity and could possibly change outcomes of voting based on data and versus disinformation. So we have the rhetoric, we have the neuropsychological approaches too. This, of course, affects the political rights of citizens and the voting, the right to voting, to vote freely and in an informed way. So I would invite you for closing words. For many years, back from 2019, Digital Republic is a claimant on a collective action against the National Revenue Agency, class action against the National Revenue Agency on leakage of personal data, financial data of almost all Bulgarians that are working age. And so this litigation had a lot of obstacles. There were attempts to terminate it, but it's still on, albeit distant in time. And actually, all the measures against the National Revenue Agency were lifted or rescinded. And this litigation is the only measure left standing. And it's, of course, the basis is the GDPR, and both the state and business have to abide by this. So, actually, we have directly implementable regulations of the EU, and Bulgaria, however, still hadn't done much in order to enforce it. One recent example is about a bill about imprisonment if you disseminate personal information about politicians, the latest thing.
Thank you, Mrs. Mandajeeva. welcome here. Thank you for speaking concisely about those fragile digital rights, the mobilization of bots and trolls, which results in censorship, the delicate question, sensitive issue of the Digital Services Act, the division in society, and the class action against the revenue agency. We will continue discussing those issues when we have a discussion panel later. Prepare your questions for lawyer Mandajeva. Now, Dr. Georgi Petrov from the Civil Participation Forum, we know him very well. I will share a couple of facts about him. He has over 20 years in creating, developing civil society networks for the past years. He has been active in empowerment of citizens, active participation of citizens in decision making, including through digital platforms. He has rich experience as a lecturer in vocational and higher education. He has a PhD from Sofia University. His topic is empowerment of digital citizens, citizenship, and online tools. Dr. Petrov, you have the floor. Thank you. I will stand in front of you. 10 minutes is a very short time, so we will help you. And this will not stop your time running. Some context why I am here in front of you to speak about this topic. The Civil Participation Forum is a network of civil society organizations, over 100 in Bulgaria, working in different areas. We are brought together by the understanding that active civil participation is the basis for all democratic processes. We cannot have functioning democracy without active citizens. That is why we study civil participation in Bulgaria, and we make efforts to improve the environment and enhance citizen participation, including digital participation. Each of us on a daily basis uses digital tools, platforms. These are everywhere, and they create our habits in using digital tools. Those who want to have a good dialogue with us as citizens should take into account all this. In Bulgaria, we have a number of laws which oblige institutions to consult their decisions with citizens. I will quote an example. For instance, the municipal budget, which must be subject to public consultation before its adoption. There are other examples as well. Some years ago, the main consultation method was an offline event, in person. I'm not saying institutions are to blame, but normally there was little interest, little attendance to those events. Over the past years, this has changed, and COVID played a role here. It suspended those offline events for some time. Some of the consultations happened online. For example, Strategy BG is a website platform where we can have access to documents and we can consult them. Our organization and others supported many municipalities in shifting from offline consultation towards online consultations or hybrid consultations. This also educated citizens and taught them to participate more actively. The involvement of people, citizens, in particular younger people, became stronger. So far, they didn't take part so much in such discussions. In order to use those digital tools effectively, they need to be regulated by law so that what is discussed during the consultation can be passed into the law. Institutions have some room for improvement, though. Unfortunately, the representative of Sofia municipality left already, but with our support, Sofia municipality passed an ordinance on public consultations 10 years ago. It was replicated in other municipalities later. It regulates the public consultations, and we also helped Sofia municipality to introduce digital instruments in the citizen budgets. I congratulate Sofia municipality that last year they introduced a digital tool for citizen budgets. It was opened recently, and you can submit your initiatives, your proposals by the 10th or 11th of November. It is very important to be active as citizens because inclusion is a two-way process. Without us, it is impossible. That is why I insist it is important to create, to build capacity at institutions and at the level of citizens. People will be involved if they believe their opinion matters. Over the years, we have been advocating in the municipalities where we work. We see that a public consultation which brought 7 or 8 people in a previous edition brings a couple of hundred participants in a hybrid format. So citizens see their voice, and their voice matters, and they are more active. Why digital platforms? Communication between citizens and institutions is more intensive, more inclusive. As I said, we overcome a number of obstacles. For instance, young people who are used to digital participation join this discussion. Of course, there are people who are not so digitally experienced, but there are parallel offline events for them. This mobilizes minimum resources at the institutions. They are also available everywhere online. You only need a device in order to get connected to the internet and browser. I will quote an example with a digital platform. I'm using this example because I have been using this platform